I'm Dhruv, and I am from Jaipur. And I was at Pearl Jaipur till December last year. Then I moved to a different place. So now what I'm doing with Praveen is that we are making these toolkits to kind of how do you say estimate futures. What sort of things that the future has in store for us if we have a certain way of looking at the future. So how do aspirations come into play? So it's like the basic question that we are asking is that what do we want from the future, and how does that want or that aspiration affects the future? And why we think is that alternative modes of thinking is important in design is that because we think it's a very plural universe. Like whatever is happening right now, many things could have happened and many things just might happen. So it's that kind of a philosophy that we both agree on. And what we are is we are A4 right now, and A4 is a collective. And A4 or HR is like a organization or whatever you want to call it. We started it earlier this year when we started having some conversations online, and we have also been joined by Ayush and Samira. They are two more awesome people from Delhi and Lucknow, and both of them are designers of different kinds. And so that is the kind of thing that we want also with us, that uh, as people, understand us and, have a conversation with us, so they can also join us for a further project, or people can bring a project onto the table and we can see how A4HR can help them. And right now we are, Praveen, would you like to talk about ED Fixe? I think.
Yeah, okay. I'll just one thing. I shared the link to the Miro board in the chat, so you guys can also join in as we go along. Okay.
Right.
So there was this break-in thing. Sorry, icebreaker activity, but okay. We'll get to the introduction to Idefixe. So Idefixe, we started, Dhruv and I started Idefixe on a conversations about, like how futures of craft apprenticeship would be. And it went for like around 1.5 years. And after that, we got this project called Idefixe, where we were looking at, like alternate realities of crafts or alternatives of craft definition, or you could even say like reimagining what is crafts. Okay, so we proposed these three sort of a format for this whole project, which was, like first was envisioning alternatives and provocative futures of craft cultures in India, so that we could go, like move away from the present conversations about how craft is viewed only as a traditional thing, and how it always sort of requires a survival support. So that was one aspect of it. The second was about, a response to the stagnated identities of systems and craft practices. That whenever I say craft, there's an image inside your head, right? And we wanted to challenge that image. That okay, like why this image only comes up when we say crafts. And the third was this interactive workshop format, where we wanted, like more of young people come together and listen to their aspirations, more about that how they want to imagine a future. Because I think from most of our conversations, we have understood that the young people are much more, open to reimagining stuff, and like adjusting some boundaries under which we are thinking or working in our profession. Dhruv, should I go along, or you want to add anything?
No, I think yeah, that's fine. We
Okay.
can move ahead.
So yeah, Dhruv, please.
Okay, so what we do essentially is, if you see in this diagram, so this is like the essence of our process. So we take traditional cues, we process them alongside. Just a second, I have. So we process them alongside, social cultural phenomenon. That is a curated list that, according to our intention, we can choose various social cultural phenomenon, and then we do have this thing of introducing technological trends, because I think the background does that. Praveen is also coming from a highly technological, school of thought, and also me, like I'm from a crafts college, but then yeah. So technology for us is a great exaggerator, and it's a great way to enable the future. So we do that. And if you see in the last part, you'll see multiple futures. So multiple futures also, they kind of are symbolic that there's no one future, right? So if anything can happen, it will happen. So if you take that kind of philosophy, then the future is always plural. We can have multiple futures existing alongside. um, so yeah, that's like the essence of what we do, and we can move ahead. Praveen, yeah. So uh, you can just go through this, and I'll just speak a little bit about it. That what we do is that, like you can see in the first column, like the first topmost corner word is that technology at the horizon. So what I just explained, that when we are looking at technology to exaggerate a particular future or come to a certain reality or make a reality functional, you want to use technology meaningfully. So the what we do is we look at technologies that are already at the horizon right now, like let's say technology of mixed reality, or how do you say, holograms in your room, and then so you see technologies like this, that they're you can see a hint of them happening right now. I'm sorry, but AR is happening like full fledged right now. But then, so if we choose a technology that is at a nascent stage right now, so that kind of helps us to exaggerate it in the future, rather than choosing a technology that is already fully developed at this point. So that was the I just wanted to explain that point, technology at the horizon. So usually the process goes like this: that we have some alternative socio-cultural policies, and we always process the next generation aspiration, as Praveen said. And then in the next stage, we kind of try to arrive at future narratives, and through these future narratives, we intend to trigger conversations. The whole idea of making these futures, because we understand that these futures are not functional right now. They're not futures. They're not rising out of foresight. They're arising out of aspiration. So they're not exactly functional, but they're good enough to start a conversation. That why should this happen? Why shouldn't this happen? And so this was the major intent in for our course, for a course of action in this project, that we wanted to have a rich conversation about what shouldn't be, what should be, why it shouldn't be, why it should be, and that kind of that actually kind of works by the end of the workshop, I think. Yes, Praveen.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it depends on the issues. I think you guys must have been reading, if you guys read a lot of these technological news where sort of the face recognition system doesn't recognizes a black skin. So these type of conversation starts, and then it helps even in development of further protocols, which may not become racist in its impact, right? So that is the basic part of triggering conversations, because we want to have the conversation when we talk about crafts also. It's not just technologies, but yeah, crafts,
Hmm.
we need such conversations where we question things back.
Right.
uh, okay.
Okay. So yeah, and so what do we end up with is like an iterated perception of crafts. And why do we say iterated? Is that a craft also, we see a lot of things can happen to a craft. A craft can completely transform itself. It can die off and something new can come out of it. It may not change even a little bit, to any, as a response to any future. So there can be a lot of identities of a single craft in this future. And yeah, I think the entire idea of this exercise is to question these identities, that where are we headed in crafts, and can we have some new formats of seeing crafts and dealing with crafts. So this is like a prime intention, that what even is a craft. We always start our workshops with this question, that what makes a craft? If I am cooking, is that a craft? Like, why would you not consider it a craft, and why would you consider a traditional practice as a craft. So are we all craftsmen? So we have this thing of empathizing so much that we try to take on crafts, like identify crafts that we practice, and then put ourselves in the shoes of craftsmen, and in that way the workshop also works. Like, interestingly, let's see what we have in store for you guys today. But moving on to the next slide, I think, Praveen.
Oh, yeah. I think the next slide is where we start the conversation. But before that, I would, like have a go about like how many
Sure,
people
sure.
are here, right? And like get to this activity, just so that you guys can, like share some things about you, like even whatever visions you have or how much comfort you have. So can everybody join in the Miro board right now? Okay. Mm. So you guys can keep adding your movies there. It's no rush. We'll just start the discussion for whoever has moved on about crafts and cities. So this time we are looking at crafts and cities in the aspects of, like how crafts exists in a city and how city also impacts this existence in the crafts. Okay, so for that, before we start, as Dhruv said earlier, right, like we sort of reiterate crafts. So if you guys can, you don't even have to put your names here. If you guys would like to say something, what you equate craft to in your current idea, that okay, like when I started this conversation with Dhruv, I said like I work with a craft company, so I understood the traditional craft. But like I sort of proposed to him that okay, like I do creative coding, so I said that creative coding is a sort of a craft for me. Okay.
Hold the screen there. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's okay. So where we are right now is that we just described the crafts that we practice, right, Praveen? That is
Yeah.
where we are. And so now we are at, if you see the heading, it says the city impacting crafts till 2020. So that means we are not, we haven't gone into the future yet. We are still at the present. And we want to understand that how do you think a city impacts a craft? Like, for example, if you, I'll just start reading out what we put there as an example. So there is an example of biryani. Okay. So let's say, is anyone from Lucknow here? Who all eat biryani? Like, who all have eaten? And like, when I say biryani, I mean vegetarian or non-vegetarian. Like biryani as a concept. Who all have? I think everyone must have eaten at least
Roshni
once.
is from Lucknow.
Roshni is from Lucknow.
Palak is also, I think, from Lucknow, I guess. Okay, or they are saying they have eaten a biryani.
They've eaten biryani. Nice. So, good job, guys. We should all eat biryani. And so, if you look at the Lucknow school of biryani, then like the gravy and everything, it doesn't exist, separately. It's a full dum based process. Whereas if you go to the Hyderabadi concept of biryani, there is a gravy, there is a separate thing. Like the meat and the rice have a different relationship, and here the meat and the rice, or vegetables and the rice, have a different relationship. So does the culture affect, like this, a culture of the city actually affected the craft? We do not know which one came first. Praveen knows, I think, historically, which one was first.
I've also heard it as like folk tales, like how that biryani
Yeah,
from our they went to Hyderabad and the particular ingredients were not there. So
right.
uh, they sort of changed the format of doing it, and that's how you got the Hyderabadi biryani. Okay, and yeah, Golgappa versus Pani Puri is something same. I don't like the Delhi Golgappa at times because I like more of Eastern way of making Golgappa from, like West Bengal or Bihar.
Right. That's a completely different thing. So yeah, and also like if we look at the section of city layout, so you'll see geolocation of the crafts, like paper crafts in Chavdi Bazaar. So what is the semantics of Chavdi Bazaar, that all the paper crafts are still there and they're not moving out? Since you guys know about Chavdi Bazaar, right? All the brands like Navneet, Built, and everyone, they're based out of Chavdi Bazaar. So there's a lot of paper going on. And when we say paper craft, for us, even making a notebook out of paper is a craft. We don't have to like have a traditional connotation to it. So is impacting a lot. And if we can go a little downstairs, Praveen, yeah, infrastructure like this particularly, I like to give the example of Jaipur that like in Jaipur during the time of the King Jai Singh, he actually laid out the entire city in such a way that there were separate areas for separate crafts and separate kind of workshops. Let's say all the iron ka machinery was being made in one point, and all the welders were at one point, and all the stone craftsmen were at one point, and all these workshops were kind of like the basic counters and the basic layout of the shop, that there is an inside office, there is an outside working area, and then there is the angan. So all this was kind of provided by the government at that time. So how does that impacted crafts in this city? So I think that has a lot to do with the state of the crafts right now, that the kind of support that people got from the state sponsored infrastructure actually helped them. And some examples like mushroom, I think Praveen, you should explain.
Okay, so we found, like the story of mushroom is like it is made where the silk is on the outer side and the inner side is having cotton. So these type of weaving came into because of the belief in for religious beliefs, where in Islam you can't have silk touch your skin. So they created this new format of weaving where like over a cotton you are having a silk layer, so that you could wear this exquisite sort of a material on you, which is very satin, like at the old at the, I think, medieval era. So this way we could see, like there are few problems which changes a crafts or allows the craft to innovate in a particular direction also. And through activist crafts for social problems. This I think you added, right?
Yeah. So when we talk about we actually did a small workshop a while back, crafts and activism. So what we thought is that, and we actually got in touch with a person called fantastic person called Betsy Greer. So she calls herself a craftivist, and in the way that she uses crafts to for activism of any kind. So she started off as a feminist, but and she has her own story, like what happened to her and why she came into activism. But crafts have actually helped her. How do you say? Take the thoughts out, and present it to the world. So that kind of activism, I think crafts have helped a lot. And coming to my own sister, I think like she has been doing macrame since a long time, and she started doing macrame when our dog, passed away. So craft have that sort of either inward activism, or if you want to amplify a message to the outward world. I think craft has a very, like, the entire concept of you building onto something is, I think, that pulls people to activism. And I think Khadi and Gandhi are a great example that how a particular material and a particular craft can be actually be used against authority and against how do you say, establishment. So we think that crafts also deal with issues, and crafts have the potential at least to be a response to a certain problem or an issue. It's I think it's merely how we look at like what makes a craft. And material ecology, I would say that I'm sorry, natural ecology, I would say that let's say in Rajasthan there's a shortage of shisham, so there's a ban that is coming into place, and how that affects the crafts now. If you don't have any more shisham wood, then what kind of material comes into play? Does the form of an object change when the material is unavailable? Because a material, we product designers, we know, right, that material tends a lot to the form also. So what happens when a material changes? So does ecology affect the final craft practice in some form or the other? I think it does. And so what we can do right now is we can just start putting up examples in this particular thing, that how do you think, like like Praveen has given an example of mushroom weaving, and there is someone who has given an example of biryani. So can you give more such examples and just try to put them into these 5 categories, that how the city has impacted a craft? It can be any craft. Let's say I do photography, and Jaipur has a lot of architecture, the infrastructure. So most of my photographs I've turned into a very architectural photographer since I've moved to Jaipur.
Okay, so this stage in the exercise of speculation we call world building. So the stage you just finished was sort of like a backcasting effort where we were looking at the present and the past, like how the patterns were, where the city was impacting a particular craft or has impacted a particular craft in different formats. So that was more of a backcasting exercise, which we take in a more discursive format. And then we come to the world building. So here what we will try to do, like you could even forget craft for a while. Okay, you could what we'll be doing is we'll be trying to figure a future city of 2050, so it's almost 30 years in future. Okay, but the critical aspect of this thing is that I would like it in the sense that it is more of a preference or aspiration based rather than more of a fact based thing. Okay, because we found that it's more interesting if like if you assert your uh, preferences in the future instead of looking at it as a exercise of foresight where we are just looking at a pattern and extending a pattern to the future. Because I think, being from a computer background or engineering background, I feel that thing can be done by an algorithm. So we as a human, we should put our aspirations there. So we could divide it in teams of two, and you guys can take one of these. The next part was about the craft twilight. So I could see. I'll just use one of your examples, I guess, because let's say they have a lot more uh, content. Okay, so like this will give you in the group like how the city is, right? So what we would like you to do is like take one craft. If you think, as because I think there are 4 people, you could even take 2 crafts also. So what you as we identified in that earlier exercise, right? Like what is craft actually means when we are saying craft. So you could take one of those craft and like imagine it, like place it inside this imagined city which you have here. So first part is like have a craft and then put it inside, like where does it exist in the city layout, what type of culture it more relates to, like maybe you have cosplay and no stereotype, more fashion and less judgment, social media. But is your craft related to like let's say maybe more to the cosplay and less to the social media? So that you have to sort of associate that. Okay, like this is the craft you guys are choosing, and it is more associated to these few things in this city. May not be like you it is associated with all the elements of your city, but maybe few parts of it, right? So that's the first part where you could like start imagine a particular craft in the city, which could be different also, it could be same also, or it could go back in history and maybe something gets revived. Okay, so that is the first part. Second is then you imagine that the person who is practicing this craft, like who is this, since you guys are very open, like is this a, let's say, a trans person, right? Maybe having a whole group is doing it, like maybe this craft is practiced as a community, or maybe this craft is practiced by an AI, who knows? Okay, so that's your thing, like imagine the character who is going to be doing this craft. Okay, so this is the first stage where we call craft twilight. And you could discuss among yourself, like how this character is interacting with his craft in this city in the evening, like either like when we are having online calls, I think mostly my evenings are with tea and on a call. Okay, but it's up to you, like how do you want to imagine this thing? Okay, and I'll suggest like give it maximum 30-40 minutes among the discussion. Have a timer in your group. Okay, after that is done, I think few of you, if you guys want to refine that with visuals, you could do it. And then the third step is about Oracle scope, where we are sort of trying to create a prototype or a visual in essence, since we are on Miro, which solidifies, like which gives this idea of your craftsman's experience in the evening a sort of a touch of reality that we could all share this among ourselves. That
So do you want me to narrate the story?
yeah, just like a bit of it, like in a minute or something, so that everybody knows.
I mean, okay, sure. So there's this 25-year-old guy named Parminder, and as soon as he finishes his work from his office, he goes down to a bar to have some drinks. So since he is a little drunk, what happens is once he feels a little bit tired as he's drunk and has been walking for some times, he locates the nearest bus stop using his smart glasses. An automated electric bus comes to the stop and he gets on board. The bus automatically detects his identity via a chip in his palm. Hence, the bus fare is deducted automatically from his account when he gets off the bus. The moment he reaches his destination, which is his nearest bus stop to his house, he calls an automated small vehicle which is provided by the society he lives in, which comes and pick him up and drops him at his apartment. So, I mean, that's the story.
Cool, cool, cool. And have you given a thought like what type of craft this guy practices?
Not yet.
Is there a context even of?
Yeah. Is there a context of where he's like interacting in some way to a craft?
Or is this
Um,
independent story?
it's sort of an independent story. We thought that
It builds
uh,
the world very efficiently, I would say.
Yeah. Like I could actually visualize this thing happening.
Yeah. What were you saying? Please continue. I'm so sorry.
um, I was just saying that since, as you said, the world is built very efficiently. So you're thinking some sort of a person who is who is focused on his job quite a bit. So so we were thinking his job would be his craft, and that's why he entered the rest of the day. After he's done working, he has a bit of a somewhat of a proper work-life balance, so he can take the rest of the day off. Uh, that's what we were trying to go for.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I just want to see if you can associate some visuals with this, no? Like it would be like the world will be very एकदम communicate हो जाएगा. थोड़े से visuals भी add कर सकते हो because I think you have some very strong visuals in there in that thing, no? Like
Yeah,
glasses, automated big vehicle and automated small vehicle. So I think that can be a very nice.
Okay, cool. We'll start working on that then.
Yeah.
Just add, suggest
And
भी चलेंगे ना symbolic visuals.
symbolic will work. And
Okay.
when you put there, right, like as you said, like his job is the craft. So maybe you also get a hint, like give us a hint, or whoever is looking at your visual, that what might his job be. Okay, just a part of it at least, so that maybe it starts touching the part of crafts. Cool.
yes.
Okay, thanks, Vibhu, Ishan, and Vibhu. Okay, next in team two, Roshni and Vaishali. Anyone would like to start? Hmm. You guys are writing something on the chat. Sorry.
Hello.
Yeah, Vaishali.
Hello, hello. So yeah, we have like described this character as Mr. Groot, who is like loves to be is an old school guy, but loves to stay updated with the tech world and is a responsible citizen. So he would love his city to be styled in like inspired from architectural ways and supports local and homegrown food for everyone, is an environment friendly and tech savvy person, and hygienic and like takes care of cleanliness around around, like in the surrounding environment. So yeah, we came up with this much thought, right? Like yet we haven't defined, like decided, is evening in the city.
Okay, and have you given a thought like what type of craft this guy is, like interacted with or practiced with or associated with?
Uh, Roshni, if she was talking about something, so if she wants to,
Maybe more of like practicing homegrown food and hydroponic farming systems. Maybe
yeah,
something like that, because he's that kind of a person, as we've described him.
Yeah, that would be cool. You could put it there like as his craft thing. So it will help you, like imagine the evening in the city.
Yeah, okay, cool.
okay.
Cool.
I think it's a nice assertion that you are making, no? That since he's that kind of person, that so he'll be practicing that kind of crafts. So I think just execute that and just write it or just add it to the story as well. So I think again, like you have done like the character, like talking about the character is like quite on point. So now you can associate more things like you just did, no? That
Mhm.
it is that kind of a person who would do this. So
Yeah,
that's the only method, yeah.
okay.
Cool, cool, nice. Yeah.
Uh,
Nice.
the last group, Palak, Tanya, okay, Heli and Sakshi. No, yeah,
Hello.
yeah, Palak.
So we decided our craft as sustainable e-world,
Okay.
and our character name is Sunny, which is a trans person. So the story goes like, so the character is that they receive the right amount of education like everybody else, and live to the equal political rights. Owns a flying backpack which made of sustainable materials.
Mhm.
So now in evening, Sunny woke up in the morning and stick to the traditional sustainable products to take bath. They travel from eco-friendly backpack down to office and spends the day normally. In the evening, they become more interesting person as they only look forward for evening the whole day. They start dressing up as a Spider-Man, which is cosplays act, and takes these spray paints and do graffiti art in most unreachable places like the higher places, jumping around and trying to make city more look like a manga world. They move around with the pet monkey and believe that one day the pet monkey can speak.
Okay.
What is a pen monkey? I want to know what is a pen monkey.
We were thinking about this.
Yeah. No, no, tell us, tell us.
Yeah, tell us, please. We love this type of imagination.
um, it can be a mutant monkey because like I have stated this fact that growing viruses and the vaccines which are coming out, it can make us a mutant kind of a person. So the monkey can be a mutant and one day it can speak, something like that.
Oh, it's like
Nice.
from Umbrella Academy, right?
It's like
Yeah.
Planet of the Apes meets Banksy. I don't know. I don't know. Nice, yeah, nice, very nice. This is gold, यार. ऐसा चीज निकल आता है ना फ्रिंज में से पेन monkey. Like who would imagine? I don't know. Nice.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
So Oracle lens is sort of a, or like Oracle scope. Sorry, not lens. Okay, so Oracle scope is just like a, it's like something which gets a glimpse. You used to have those oracles orb, which you see in cartoons, right? Where you could see something in the orb about the future which is going to come. So it is something like that. It's just you said, right, like you are making this cars, and we said like if you could put a more specific narrative. So we just wanted to see like, can you like give us one sort of one object in this future, right? which brings together your story to that. Okay, yeah, like this is a thing from the future. Okay. Uh, I think we'll go like the reverse this time, I guess. So we'll start with the invisible incognito city. Sorry.
Yeah.
I really like the images you guys have, you know, chosen from your searches. Like it is giving a lot, a very clear vision to me, like who is going and flying and doing what. Okay, but I would like to know more. Like, is there anything you guys have thought more over it?
Hello. Yeah, so we thought more on the storyline, and what we came up more with was that those pet monkeys would rule the world in the end. Like not in the end, so that the person who cosplays as a Spider-Man, he would try to turn other people into that monkey, and the main person being his pet monkey might end up like he wants his pet monkey to rule the world, and then instead of these wars that are there currently, nuclear war and all of those things, we will have a war of this kind where all everyone would be converted into this monkey thing.
Okay. I want to understand something here. Is that it? Or more?
Yeah, that is it.
That's it. Okay. इधर प्राइम हमारा एक्टर या प्रोटैगनिस्ट कौन है इधर इस फिक्शन में?
This person, the character you can see on the right, this person.
Sunny.
Sunny, yeah.
Sunny, okay. So, okay, fair. I thought the story would be more about Sunny, no, like the narrative. The narrative. Do you think the narrative moved away a little bit from the protagonist? I don't know.
Actually, we thought that the Sunny just made an experiment and wants its monkey to talk. Instead of talking, he become more of a mutant and start ruling the world. And so it's kind of like human versus the monkeys in the end, and then we fight. And because Sunny is super cool, so he will fly and like uh, like control his pet and something like that. So we were thinking in that way.
Okay.
Okay. And can I ask one question on this? Like, okay, do you think like, okay, I'm just saying that Sunny was the person who was with the backpack and she was going around and painting graffitis all around, right? And the pet was theirs only. So when this pet monkey becomes the ruler, right? Like he becomes the ruler of this world. What do you think Sunny is doing now? Like, what is she painting in the graffitis now?
So more of like political paint graffitis like this one or maybe this one, or maybe some urban and ancient kind of graffitis, and just like kind of a becoming like a rebellious kind of a person.
So she starts rebelling against this monkey's rule, or she starts convincing people to, like accept this monkey's rule. Sorry, I
No,
think.
the monkey was a mistake. The experiment with monkey was a mistake of his.
Okay.
Of the Sunny was actually just want the monkey to talk. Instead of that, it became more powerful and such powerful that it becomes something like this and start ruling the world. Wants to rule the world, and then Sunny wants to stop this, so he tries to control his pet.
It's like Frankenstein's monster becomes ambitious. I can associate with that. All right, I do like this. I think this is fantastic. कुछ बढ़िया हो रहा है. Like hints बहुत अच्छे हैं इसमें. Like where you are going, no? So that I'll give you. Like, or it is like I like the fantastical aspect. I don't know. Like realists would not agree, but I don't care. I like the fantastical aspect. And good job, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So
Sorry.
what we thought of was that it will be a tech-driven yet ancient style city with beautiful building designs of, like the interiors would be very ancient style, but for the exteriors we just had this one picture that we got.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Groot is a very self-reliant person, but yet he uses the technology for his simplification and his help. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what we like try to give it, like look and feel of the robots, and then the city style, and the robots were helping him for the farming session.
Okay. Can I ask you one more thing, Roshni? Okay, because I was just reading, what you guys write. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, is this that, have you given a thought, like, what questions this guy is asking his robo friends? Because now I can see, like,
Yeah.
he is sitting in this hydroponic farm, and all his robotic hands are working, right? And
Yeah.
then there is a robotic hand in front of him, or maybe around him, and he's
Yeah.
talking to it. Okay,
Yeah.
like, have you given any thought, like, what is he talking about with them?
Yeah, so what I was thinking was like, because it's the future and you don't know what's gonna happen. So what I was thinking was like, he is a very like person who loves ancient architecture and everything, and obviously farming. So what he does is he's just sitting on his couch and asking his robot to, show him designs and different things for his architecture, and so that he can renovate his home. And simultaneously he has done some things from his robo friend. He's changed many things in his home, something like that. I don't know, maybe.
No, that's
Like
great.
whatever
That's
he's
great.
thinking is being done just right in front of him. Like supposing like how we renovate home is like first we, think of how to do it, then design it and then do it. But it's very quick. Like he thinks of it and it's done.
Interesting.
So here, I would like to add something. So here we can. I was thinking like Groot can be like the Jarvis of we have seen in the Iron Man.
Mhm.
Like a assistant.
Okay. Like, okay, Dhruv said, like, is Groove like a assistant to something? Okay, so Groove is the guy, the old man, or Groove is a like an AI system? Like, it's not a human but non-human entity.
Groot is an AI. Yeah, that
Oh,
robot.
okay, okay. I was still thinking that it's a person. Okay, Dhruv, you want to say something?
No, I don't. I was just fiddling.
Okay. No, that's cool, guys. That's cool. Okay, this is something. It reminds me of a story of humanoid where there is this guy who gets trapped in his basement after apocalypse, and he keeps talking to his robot. Okay, because this is something which is being done right now in Japan, and where they are trying to make two robots or androids converse in themselves, so they sort of figure these things out, and that's the whole question, that what are they talking about. Right? So that's why I asked you, like, what questions they are asking in that sense, because it's an interesting point for us all, for our technological world, in the sense that we want to know, like, if both the person who are in a conversation are robots or AIs, what's the conversation about? So
Yeah,
that's
and
cool.
yeah, we also thought of like humanoids or robots talking to each other and working together. So something like that.
Do you think like humans are there in this city right now, or where are they?
Don't know. Didn't give a thought for that. We just made it a very techie world, yet
Hmm.
very old school designs and thinking, something like that.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Because we like that idea of being old school and following the ancient traditions and architecture. Like we both are like that. So that's what we thought of.
Vibhor and Yakshit and Ishan and Hardik.
Um,
Okay. Sorry.
yeah, so we both tried to illustrate the lift that he was explaining during
Hmm.
the story.
Hmm.
So This is sort of a lift that is attached to his building provided by his local society, and it goes to get the a user, and it when it comes back to the building, it attaches itself to the outside of the building and sort of goes up like an external lift to drop him off at his apartment.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's about it.
Interesting device, huh, Praveen?
Yeah. It it
I
does
mean, according
remind.
to me,
Uh-huh.
the problem that we face with public transport is that they have to make specific spots where we can go and transport through public transport, right? So, what about the transport between our place to the spot where public transport is available? So, I think the society that this guy is living in will provide such lifts which will be able to um, take him from that bus stop to his apartment directly, so that there's no need for him to, walk anymore.
Interesting.
I also have an interesting observation. Okay, it's just that when I see the image, I am also like, okay, this guy doesn't wants to walk, but the car or the lift makes him stand like he is still in bus, right? So
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
just it's just
yeah,
a
I
fun
mean
observation.
that's just we couldn't illustrate the whole thing.
No, no, it's just that I wanted to ask this so that I know, like, because you have thought on that also, right? Like, maybe
Yeah,
there is
yeah,
something
there
else.
will be obviously a place to sit in this.
And have you given a thought, like, why even this box also?
Or it was the MVP of transport. सबसे पहले वही था. ठीक है fair, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's more mainly the MVP, since we were just trying to get the idea across by this.
Cool. And about the job thing, like, can I like, have you figured out like what type of work he's doing in this era, like in his profession?
Um, we thought we haven't come to an exact job, but we were thinking something similar to an intellectual job or something which requires a lot of thinking or research,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean we haven't really cleared up on that.
Cool. No, that's fine. It's just that when we are having, I mean, what you guys could do, no, like after the session, you could maybe discuss further on the aspects that what this guy is doing in the city, right? Because
Yeah,
I could see like this thing is like a whole plan of creating a public transportation in the new city. That could be cool vision to have for a city planner, I'll say. These sort of pods, I think Tesla also have sort of this vision when he says when he talks about his company Boring. Yeah, Boring,
yeah,
is that
Right.
right?
the
Yeah,
boring
boring,
company, yeah.
boring.
Yeah. Okay. Dhruv, you want to? Okay, no. Okay, I thought.
no, I think I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, cool. So, guys, like for today's session, like thanks Vibhor and Ishan also. Yeah, and by the way, can I ask you guys, like, are you doing proxy here for Yakshit and
Oh,
Hardik?
no, I mean they were here in the first session, so
Okay.
we did do that part of the exercise together.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
Cool. Thank you so much, Praveen and Dhruv. This, I think, has been really nice. I didn't participate today, I couldn't, but it was really nice to kind of watch everyone do it, and I was quite intrigued by the kind of presentations that have come. I will say that this is much more detailed than, like, this output is more detailed than anything we've managed to do in class so far. So props to you guys for making that happen.
Yeah, like kudos to the kids, yeah, like really responsive, very planned, nice. Whatever way you are communicating, it works.
Yeah.
Cool,
Thanks,
cool.
Soumya, for
Thank
this.
you, Soumya, for this. Yeah.
Happy
Cool.
to have you guys in. I think this was also
Yeah.
a really good experience for me to kind of watch you guys do this. Okay,
Cool,
I'm
cool.
gonna let you close it out now. So if you have any closing remarks, and then I think we can all head out.
No, I don't think we do have anything. We have said everything. And thank you, everyone. Yeah, Praveen, what would you like to say?
No, I just want to know, like, Samira, do you want to say something? I think you are still working. Sorry, I didn't see that. I thought you were not here.
No, it's fine. I did not intend to be involved in the presentation.
Okay. So I think she'll do another version herself later on. So that's cool.
Yeah, I'm just putting an idea out there.
Okay, cool. Then I think we'll close off, I guess. Thank you, guys.